So next we have, we're going to shift gears as we do and look at into the nature of economics and abundance on the future. So we have Mario Casiraghi and Chris Kirkpatrick, and we're going to talk about unlocking freedom, freedom with AI. And as AI reshapes industries, it's exploring how AI will reshape us and opportunities and abundance in the world. So thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Haley.
Awesome being here.
So I am going to provoke some topics and hopefully inspire some conversation between you. So I want to look first at AI as a catalyst for financial freedom and human empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have the now, which is extremely important, and the short term, and we'll be looking off into the future as well. But right now, these tools are maturing and changing how we interact economically in very vital ways. So AI can automate financial management, but does automation truly liberate people, or risk creating a new kind of dependence on algorithms for life decisions?
You want to go first? You want me?
Please.
So, for me, I think one of the beautiful things about AI is the ability to connect deeper with ourselves. We've been talking a lot about consciousness at the event this weekend, and I've had a lot of conversations on the side of what is consciousness. And for me, a lot of people have been talking about it as this theoretical state of awareness, or is a thing conscious or is it not conscious or whatever. And to me, when I think about my mission statement for my company is to help people elevate consciousness with money, and to me it comes down to awareness, and it comes down to being able to be more in alignment and more intentional with our money, and take the subconscious programming and behaviors and identities and beliefs and be more aware of them, and bring them to the surface and be more intentional about them. And I truly believe that, a lot of people have been saying here that the biggest struggle, the biggest risk to AI is humans, right? Is like the AGI is either going to fail or succeed based on how humans kind of set it all up. I'm not an AI expert, but like I believe the same as with our money. People struggle with money because their money is not in alignment with their values and beliefs. And for us to be better in that space, it's utilizing frameworks and elevating consciousness and awareness and intentionality, and utilizing money as a tool to create the life that we want to live, to create a life of meaning and fulfillment and contribution. And unfortunately, I just see on a micro level, people are just not doing that. And I think where AI can really play a part is the right people coming together and building in the right frameworks and principles, and AI can kind of be a conscious elevation coach in that sense, and that's what I'm excited about.
I know I said I wanted you two to discuss, but that is such an exciting idea. We see so often we're like, oh, money is the evil maker and it's going to corrupt and
Totally.
these things, right? But money, economic principles, economic pieces, as much as meditation, may be can be a way to elevate personal understanding and consciousness. Awesome, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, on a technical basis, obviously, we have been going through a series of evolution and innovations over the past, let's say, 20 years since the internet. First, we had, wide availability of data, and with AI, we can say that we have now wide availability of intelligence, right? So it's easier not only to access the data, but also to have it processed into a decision. That is a great tool, because in financial markets, a lot of it, there's always been, and crypto has somewhat tackled that, a distance between access of opportunities, information, and tools between, the large players and kind of the wider public. With technologies like blockchain and crypto, and now AI, that spread can be reduced, because again, it provides wider democratized access to things that before were available only to the selected few. So that can be a catalyst of meaningful empowerment of individuals or smaller businesses, and non humongous ecosystems, and that is very, very powerful. And I do see that as some. That's why I think that actually crypto and AI are very powerful also together, and that's why it's also amazing what we're doing here. That's on a micro level, so I see that as a potential enablement tool for improve decision making now, and hopefully improves consciousness as well in decisions. From a systemic perspective, then we're going to see a little bit more in the future, and it will create a new system, right, where decisions will be somewhat automated and taken away from humans, meaning we may be the seed of the first decision, but that the systems will become independent. So how do we make sure that once the individual and the community of individuals is empowered, the system remains empowered and doesn't, what rules will follow, what will it maximize for, what will it optimize for, and there again I re-add kind of blockchain tokenization in the at least conceptual phase, where you have incentives alignment, what money is, and we should think about how to innovate on that as well, because at the core we remain with the challenge that if money stays as it is today, just as a simple mean of exchange that follows maximization profit, then incentives will stay wrong. But we do have the tools to improve that and look for more aligned systems.
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful. And looking perhaps more in that direction, how do we build tools, build systems that don't just follow in the same footsteps of the existing institutions? We're seeing even in blockchain and in cryptocurrencies, institutional investors are now shifting that landscape. They've stepped in, they've decided there's resources there, and they're shifting that landscape. How do we retain that power, those options, and that capability for individuals?
So we Bitcoin in particular has allowed to consolidate the fact that blockchain is inevitable, and it was first perceived as a technology advancement, but now, especially as the macroeconomy and geopolitics are so fluid and conflictuous, it has started to become a sort of conceptual safe haven, a protection to inflation and other things that are useful for the real economy and investors. So I think that is what we want to try to do, meaning make it large enough and solving problems that the system has in a way that it gets adopted. And that's what's happening right now. Then from Bitcoin downward, it starts becoming more of a speculation game again, but the adoption of the wider financial system of crypto is good, because then it becomes even more inevitable. And then from there, they are somewhat accepting directly or indirectly some of the rules and techniques that decentralization, governance, and bring. And so I think we want to try to do it again by succeeding in solving some of the problems that the world has, which are plentiful, and making it inevitable again. And we could focus on incentives realignment, improved governance systems, community building, and other things like that.
It's interesting because I work in the personal finance space, right?
Yes.
And so when we think about this topic, like I'm 100% in agreement with him. The means of what is money and how are transactions executed, and what is our perspective of all this, I think will change over time. And whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years out, that the whole system ends up changing, I don't think any of us know, and it's hard. So my passion is helping people in the here and now and figure out, like, all right, what do we do? Like, how can we help people learn how to utilize money as a tool in the world that we are? Because I believe an empowered person today is going to be more equipped to make a transition when the time comes, right? And so that's kind of, when I look at this, that's what I look at, is like everybody's talking like way in the future, and that's super cool. But I also like, let's reel it in a little bit and realize, like, we have tools right now if the right people get behind the execution of them That's one of the reasons that I've started doing the stuff with the twin protocol stuff, because it's really, really exciting, right? Because we have the tools to be able to get out there and share with people to help them here and now. And I'll just, I guess, use the phrase like build the foundation of who they are. That way, their knowledge base, their sovereignty, and their ability to be financially liberated and be able to kind of go to that next level when the transition happens, they're able to make that pivot. Because right now, I think so many people are not equipped or prepared. And no matter what happens, what that transition looks like, which nobody really knows, I don't think, no matter what that looks like, those people are not going to be ready. And so I don't know that there's ever going to be a solution that everybody's going to be totally fully prepared, obviously. But I think it's trying to get people to a place where they're as prepared as possible. And in my estimation, I don't think that starts with understanding investments in the more the financial metrics. I think it's more of an internal problem, right? It's more of an identity and a beliefs and an internal structure problem. And that's why, like with what we do in all the financial coaching that my company does, that we don't start with the money stuff, because no matter what I give you, the assets and investments, whatever, none of that stuff is going to solve your problems.
Right.
It all comes back to personal transformation and awareness, consciousness, if you will.
The phrase, wherever you go, there you are.
There you
right?
are. Exactly. Exactly.
Can't leave myself behind. So, along these lines, you've each touched on this just a bit, but
Mhm.
looking at conscious capital and values aligned wealth creation,
Mhm.
abundance creation. So, can AI systems be designed to actively promote values such as sustainability, fairness, and long term well being, or will financial optimization always default towards profit as a guiding principle?
You want to start first?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's bound to evolve. As we evolve, it will evolve, right? Like, and money is not the destination. And I know in today's capitalistic world, that's kind of money is the objective. And I think as society grows, we're going to realize that money is just a tool. And as our consciousness elevates, money is just a tool. And I think AI can play a big part in helping people make that emotional transition, if you will. I mean, people, my wife and I included, utilize AI as like thought partners and coaches, and in every capacity. And of course, you got to be really careful with that and question and push back and not take everything at face value. But I think as we start to build this stuff out, and this once again, I'll go back to the twin protocol thing, that I'm like having something where you can almost build your own micro LLM that's really laser focused on creating a coach that can help people have a resource if they want to be intentional and elevate their consciousness with money. Then yeah, I mean, we can. It's just about people making the decision to do it and realizing the importance of it. I think right now people don't do it with money. People are disconnected with money because money is the greatest form of slavery in the world, in my opinion. Like it is a mechanism of control. And so if we can get people to the place where they realize they have access to the information, they have access to the growth, that they can become who they need to become to actually have control of it. Most people don't believe that. And so if you don't believe it, you're not going to put your energy into it, right? The human brain will only allow you to put 100% of effort into something you believe you can be successful with. So
Right.
we need to get people to believe that they're capable. And I think, these tools and systems can help us get there.
And segueing, you said money is a tool.
Sure.
It's money in the current form is starting to become obsolete again. As
Totally.
we said, there are new tools that money is a means of exchange and is allowed for humongous innovation in the last, since the capitalistic society, right? We've built all of this in the last 100 years, let's say, industrial revolution onwards. Now we have new tools, but there's very strong powers encroach and attached to the old tools, but there's this feeling of tension that something has to change is increasingly there. And I do think that it starts from us and consciousness, and then it goes to conscious societies and so on and so forth. Again, as I was saying earlier, we want to reach a critical mass because the established powers, and it is evolving, but as money as a tool today, it continues to polarize wealth, then the ability, that difference in the ability of making an impact in the world in the current system remains when somebody sitting on trillions of dollars can do more than somebody sitting on non-trillions of dollars. So can we kind of, through consciousness and through the tooling that is available today, start building, societies, ecosystems that can foster that innovation and make it inevitable in a way that it does solve the problems that we all see, and it starts to influence society as a whole. And I think that is possible, and it is somewhat happening already today. Again, in tackling some of the core challenges of the world, as in the role of humans in the world of AI, how is the financial system going to change, sustainability, can we try not to destroy our home, and things like this are already to be addressed, but not only by think tanks, but also by the financial system. And so in that, AI and blockchain, and the evolution of them and the combination of them allow for new things to arise, and hopefully in a way that we can generate more value, and the value doesn't have to be only money, but maybe the new form of money.
I've always been fascinated but weirded out by meme coins, but I looked a little closer and I found it very interesting. And I mean, meme coins are a way that you just invest on what you value. You find a community or something that embodies something that resonates with you, and you buy into it, right? And it's in some ways a little bit like buying organic foods at the grocery store. Like you're paying more, but because it's sort of values aligned. I'm buying into the meme coin of organic or fair trade, or right, with my purchases at home. So looking at these two kind of examples of buying into my values in a very interesting way, is that a waste of money and resources, and go like what do I get for that?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as I try to not go so siloed in anything. I just look at it from an airplane view as everybody. If I were to communicate and have a conversation with every single person in the room of like, what does a life that you desire look like? What does a life
Right.
of fulfillment look like to you? I'm going to get 100 different answers, right?
Yeah.
And so like literally a unique fingerprint answer from every single person. And so if that's the case, then cookie cutter financial advice makes no sense,
Right.
right? Because I mean, there are certain principles that work, but every single person, it's about the intentionality of what you're trying to accomplish. So then maybe a meme coin makes sense. Maybe like it's just is what you're doing, does it feel aligned? Does it feel fulfilling? Does it feel like it's getting you closer to the end destination? Like at the end of the day, let's be intentional about what we're trying to create
Yeah.
and utilize money as a tool to be able to do so. And so yeah, I mean that's
Yeah, and if you kind of strip everything away from the meme coin stigma, it took me a while to understand as well.
It does.
But then when it became inevitable and so big, I was like, okay, there must be something here. And I think you're right. Is that raw power of the community, right? And I feel. And the fact that it can have a monetary value, although
Mhm.
there's no other value. So
Yeah.
then the only value that is there is the value
It,
of the community.
gold might be the biggest meme coin ever, right?
Right.
We decided it's beautiful.
That is right.
Yeah.
Um, and to your point, I think, I mean, one thing, everybody will say different things, but
Mhm.
generally I would say people long for connection and
Totally.
belonging, right? And so meme coins have had that one effect of manifesting that, by aligning a dream with a monetary incentive,
Totally.
a community can come together towards a simple concept of
Mhm.
just freedom starting
Yeah.
with, and then all sorts of animals and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
We're actually
One
please.
thing that, and I know they have a video. So I've partnered with the Twin Protocol stuff. So I'm not
Yes.
an AI expert at all, just so everybody knows. But I've been really excited about trying to utilize AI as much as possible. And I don't know if Mihaela's in here or not, but she has connected me with the Twin Protocol group, and we've put together, like just yesterday, it's all happened very fast. And so I think they have a video they want to play
Ah,
to show
wonderful.
you how crazy this cool technology can be and how fast it has. Who here has heard of Twin Protocol? Okay, a very small portion of the room, which is cool. So,
But who here has heard of digital twins in some form, some format? This is an idea that originated. Twin Protocol has been looking
yeah,
at and working on this for years,
yeah,
but now I mean, a good idea comes to many people, right?
yeah.
And so they've been working on this for a long time.
And it's about scale. So I run an organization, and so what we've done is just yesterday, literally, I worked with Kai, and he helped me put this video together.
Oh,
And we literally, what you're about to see, it's by no means refined, right? But it literally got done in like 2 hours, which is, to me, mind blowing.
yeah.
So I don't know. Do you guys have the ability to play that?
What's going on, attendees of the BGI Summit? I'm Chris's AI twin, powered by Twin Protocol, designed to help scale Life 180 by coaching agents and financial advisors across the country and around the world. I'll also be working directly with individuals and clients to help them learn how to use money as a tool to create a life that's meaningful to them right now. Chris only speaks English, even though he lives in the Dominican Republic. Spanish isn't a language he's learned yet, so I'm going to bail him out here and show how I can work with people and communicate in Spanish for him. Let's create a life that's meaningful to you. Vamos a crear una vida que sea significativa para ti. I can also speak Mandarin Chinese. Watch this. Financial freedom starts with clarity. Kaiwu ziyu shiyu kangsh. And if we're in Turkey, no problem. Your money should work for you, not against you. Paranız sizin için çalışmalı, size karşı değil, or even Vietnamese, I've got you covered. You deserve to live free and on purpose. Ban shung jang juj song tu do va cho much jich. No matter where you are in the world or what language you speak, I'm here to help you take control of your financial story and live it on purpose. As a special bonus for attending the conference, you can create your own AI twin for free, with compliments from Twin Protocol. Thank you so much. And now back to the fireside chat.
Very nice.
It's crazy. It's
Yes.
cool. So if anybody wants to do that and talk about getting your own twin, I'll say go talk to Kai. I don't know where he is. Kai, are you in here? No, he's doing an interview right now. So
Yes.
yeah.
So now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Looking at this technology as a way to, be self-reflective on our economy or any other area of our life that we want to look at, what's your experience of seeing your twin talk about economics,
Oh,
talk
it's
about
totally
financial?
strange.
Yeah.
It's very weird to see
Yeah.
that. Like it's like eerie almost.
Yeah.
It's like so close, but it's just
Yeah.
not
The
perfect enough
uncanny
to make it
valley.
okay. You
Yeah.
Do
know,
I
like
look like that?
right? What's that?
Do I look like that?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And I almost like the fact that it's got a little robotic element to
Yeah.
it, because if it were like a total deep fake perfect, it would freak me out.
So
But it's awesome, the
it is.
scalability of it.
It is awesome, and then to look at that as itself a tool, right? If you are speaking about your economic values, but then if you're watching your twin speak to you about your economic values or having a chat there, how powerful!
Yeah, I mean, and to me, I just look at it. I can upload my brain and my philosophies and my principles, and it creates scale, and that's what this is all about. But scale that's in alignment with the things that are important to me to teach.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Right. Yeah. It helps you align with what you value most and what you want
totally.
to embody most.
Yeah.
Now, we are running over time, but
Yeah.
I have the right to ask one more quick question of
Sure.
each of you. I think we're coming up on an interesting paradox, or I don't know, coming up on perhaps, but money has been historically a zero-sum game,
Yeah.
which is what makes it so exciting and fun for so many to win, but at the expense of so many. And at the same time, we're coming into an era of abundance, abundant intelligence, abundant resources, abundant energy, abundant longevity and health. How do these two things, as this matter and antimatter, how do these two things collide in our future?
You want to go?
Yeah, so I think again, some things are going to become inevitable, right? So we went through, the wide, the economy of data, which we're going through right now, and the abundance of data thanks to the internet, and now AI is abundance of intelligence.
Yeah.
So the economic input of the different phases of economy, we're starting from labor, and then now recently, the economy of attention, and people are increasingly had more time for themselves.
Yes.
The next phase of this will be dramatic because a lot of the existing works will change or evolve or disappear in a way that we can expect to have an abundance of time. So what are we going to do with that?
We're going to waste it all on social media and doom scrolling. That's one option.
And it feels like, I mean, there's going to be different
Yeah,
options, right? And
yeah.
all sorts of shades of different colors in between. But yeah, one extreme is we end up in the matrix, and we stay in front of it. We give our time back to who is giving it to us.
Right.
So you can see a flywheel of universal basic income into spending time on social media. You make 100 and give 110 back. Or we can use these systems to create more win-win situations, new incentive systems where we can hopefully refocus on regenerative societies, sustainability, consciousness, and enable humans and also in the interaction with AI to be incentivized and rewarded for it.
Yeah.
So again, that's almost, that's what we're here to do. And the tools are there. A lot of education is necessary, obviously, because it is, intelligence is accessible, but one has to process it, make it its own, and then act on it, right? So I mean, it's not like it's going to be easy to create a new society, but once again, the tools are available, and people are thinking about it and acting on it. It will go through also some interesting phases, like the concept of, started with own your data, it will become concept of sovereignty a little bit as well, right? Own your AI, right? And how does that AI interact with other AIs? How does it get rewarded for interaction? And how do you create a positive flywheel in a significantly more atomic and fluid society?
I guess for me, it's real simple. Like growth, transition. This is all the inevitability of what's going on, and I think people are going to have more and more free time, more and more agency and ability to create whatever they want out of their life to be, right? Whether it's universal basic income that gets brought into the mix or whatever, but we also see what happens like in the United States on native tribal lands where people are given universal basic income and they destroy their lives with the freedom. And so that's intrinsically not necessarily good or bad. It's just it all comes down to who are the people, like what is the process and who are we becoming in that process. And that's why I'm so passionate about my methodologies and frameworks of teaching people how to handle money, how to handle value creation and just life, and looking at it through that lens, because no matter what happens, we don't know how it's all going to go. But if we become who we need to become in the process, then we'll be equipped and prepared and able to navigate the transition. And to me, that's our responsibility right now. And we can utilize those tools to do so.
And thank you very much. I couldn't agree more. I think that space that we're in right now is forcing exactly that reflection.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for a brilliant discussion.
Cool.